When I moved to Chicago just before my freshman year, and I didn't have any friends yet, and I wanted to be a great example of some, I was probably the only person from Utah that they would have ever met. I wanted to have some influence and be a positive contribution to the school. And I thought, well, you know what I need to do? I need to courageously run for an office, like be the freshman class president or something, and give some speeches and put myself out there. But I was nervous about this because I had terrible acne, just awful. And every night we'd have to, and the joke was, what's that big pimple between your shoulders? Oh, it's his head. I mean, I was just terrified about that. And I was a little chubbier than I wanted to be. But I thought, well, I'll run for office. So I run for office and I got 2 votes. My campaign manager and me. And I thought, well, gee, that's not my destiny. I'm not going to be the real popular guy. So I tried out for the tennis team and I played in the band and everything else. But I was not changing the world. And I was just building a very small group of friends. And then my sophomore year, I thought, well, I have a little bit less zits. This will be better. So I end up running for a sophomore class office. And I think I got 4 votes. Just. And I'm kind of my tail between my legs, and I'm thinking, oh man, nobody loves me. I felt like Charlie Brown. Nobody loves me. I can't make roundos in my hands. And then at the end of my sophomore year, big announcement in the paper that a brand new school was about to be built. And it's going to take kids from 8 different high schools to combine to make this new school. And that where we lived, I was going to be leaving Wheeling High School and go to this new school named after John Hersey, who wrote the book Hiroshima. And so my dad's reading this paper. And he said, I see there's a new school coming. How you feel about it? I said, well, I don't know. We'll go there as juniors, and there won't be a senior class. And there's not going to be any traditions, and I'm not going to really know anybody. Not that I knew that many people before, and I've clearly not been very successful at taking on leadership responsibilities. And my dad says, well, it'd be maybe you should try living the gospel. What? Do I not show up at church every week? I am a word of wisdom virgin. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't fool around with girls. To which my little sister, who is listening to this, says, well, that's no shock. And so I am trying to, say, and my dad says, no, you've been living the church just great. But you maybe ought to just see if your life changes if you start living the gospel. I was incensed. Come on. What more do you want from me? I'm a good boy. I'm righteous. I'm not getting high on dope. I'm not escaping. No, you do all that stuff great. But you don't have the gospel thing down. So he takes out the New Testament and he says, he who loses himself will find himself. But if you try to find yourself, you're going to be lost. You need to think about somebody besides you. All of your arrows are pointing at you. Oh, do you see me? I have less sits than I did yesterday. Oh, do you see how smart I am, or how cute I am, or lost some weight, or I got my leather sweater, or whatever. He said, it's all about you. Maybe in the new school, you can recommit yourself to the person you want to be. And maybe you should see if the gospel actually works. And then he left it at that. So I started thinking seriously about this. I thought, that's right. All of the arrows are pointing inward. They're not pointing outward. So I'm reading these scriptures and I'm thinking about what does he mean with the gospel? Think about somebody besides myself. And I asked him a few times and he says, well, what do you think everybody else is worried about? That you're worried about? We have no traditions. We're going to walk into school. We don't know anybody. We don't have things that are part of what you always do at this high school. Nothing. He said, This is my dad's great teaching method. That's interesting you'd say that.